Hello?
Hey, man.
What's going on?
Oh, man. It doesn't look good for Joe.
No, I'm telling you, he's not walking out of there.
Oh, man. I was there for for like the first couple of hours, and the prosecution's attorney did opening statements that, were devastating, basically, talking to the jury about, basically a lot of the things you said, almost everything you said. And, just like first hiring Alan Glover. Alan's last name is what?
Glover.
Glover, like G-L?
Glover.
Yeah. So, but it literally almost word for word, like a lot of the things you said, not word for word, but like basically how, he figured out the bike paths and she'd be bicycling, and, he got into detail. And then the second person he hired was basically like an insurance policy, or he was going to hire. But anyway, they walked through that in a way that was so devastating. And then the defense gave their opening remarks. And, they basically kind of just said, Joe talks a lot. He just talks a lot.
Yeah.
But they weren't able to really, convince, it wasn't convincing at all. Yeah. And what happened that was crazy. The first person up was Eric Cowie to testify about, and then the second person was Dylan West. The third person was Trey Key from Merriweather.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. And then they broke for lunch. But what happened was kind of really interesting when they broke for lunch. And Joe's there in like a baggy gray suit. But when they broke for lunch, Joe left the room. No, he didn't leave the room. The jury left the room. And then the judge said, basically to the lawyers and to Joe, he's like, have you been offered a plea on this, a plea deal? And he said, in no uncertain terms, you've been offered a plea deal. But basically he was saying, look, the evidence is so stacked against you, you probably should take a plea deal. I mean, wink, wink, nod, nod.
Yeah.
But it was interesting that he told the jury to leave, and they basically, made that very clear to Joe and their attorneys.
Yeah.
And then the other half of the day was like some really boring, I don't know, like pathologist or some kind of scientific people that know about, like, where's the cats killed this way? Were they healthy? Were they blah, blah, blah? And it was more boring. But apparently Carol testifying tomorrow. She was in the courtroom.
What?
With her, with her husband.
We were told nobody that was testified could be in the courtroom.
Well, maybe because she was the potential victim. I don't know.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, you're coming up Wednesday, right?
I hear Wednesday. I mean, what do you think it's going to keep pushing out, or what do you think?
Well, what day you testify on Wednesday? No,
they're saying Wednesday, but they don't know. It's a tentative Wednesday.
Oh, okay. Is Alan going to testify the same day you are?
No, I think he's next week or something. But I just found out he's in jail.
He's in jail.
He's in doing a 1-year stint down there in Garvin County Jail.
Oh, for what?
For pills and DWIs.
Pills and DWIs?
Yeah.
In jail? So they'll pull him out of jail to testify?
Yeah. Yeah, they kept that hush-hush, too, and I just found that out.
Who told you that?
Birdie.
Jeff Johnson?
Yeah, he actually told me that. He actually posted on his page that he was in jail.
But I don't know what to believe or not to believe.
No, he is actually in jail because I looked it up. It's not in the Oklahoma State. You can go in there and look it up and see he's in jail. Yeah. I actually looked it up because I don't believe anything he says. Just like he was going to go there today and front everybody, and he didn't.
I know. Like, why? Like, I don't get that guy. I honestly don't.
Drama queen. Yeah. So you think it was pretty devastating against Joe today?
Oh my God. And I don't think his defense attorneys are up to the task to really defend him. That's the other problem. But I mean, I kind of feel, I don't know, man. I feel bad or conflicted because, you know, he did some fucked up shit.
Yeah.
You know, none of us are perfect.
Yeah, yeah. I don't agree with what he's going to get because he's going to get probably 30, 40 years.
Oh man.
So he's going to do life in prison. That's what I'm saying. That's why I feel so bad.
Yeah.
And my testimony, I mean, I don't know, you know, my personal testimony, but those audio tapes are fucking disastrous, man.
Yeah.
I mean, when they start playing them things, they're just like, holy shit.
Right.
You know, I don't know.
And you didn't videotape them. You just did audio.
Some of them are video too.
Some of them are. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what happens. That's pretty much all. That's pretty much what happened today. But if anyone asks, you know, just say you've heard it from someone.
Oh, I'm not going to say your name. Hey, so when they mentioned the plea deal, he just said no.
I think they, you know, I don't think they said anything. They just said we understand. But I think, you know, man.
Do you think he'll take a plea? Like, think about it tonight. Just like,
I mean, it's hard to say because, like, from his point of view, you know, like he's 56 years old, right? So if he gets, you know, 15 years as a plea, that means 56, 66, 71 years old, he gets out. Like, that's a long time, man. So he may roll the dice and try and not do the plea, you know. But, you know, if he were to get a plea deal of 5 years, I would say jump on it. But if he's doing if the plea deal is like 15 years or 12 years, I don't know what he should.
I think one was 8 years, and then he told him no, and then I think they offered him and countered it.
Right.
So I don't know, man. It's crazy.
I know.
How'd Carol? Was Carol wearing some leopard print or some tiger print, marketing herself over there?
You know, that's a really good question. I only saw her sitting down with her husband, Howard, and they were in the very back row, which is really interesting. Like, they didn't want to be up close, right? They were in the very, very back row, and they were like the first people in the courtroom, and they must have come in some secret way because they didn't come through the front door. You know, like they must have had some kind of special entrance.
You know she's going to spin this thing and just freaking make a mint.
I know.
She's going to. I mean, she's already got the marketing figured out, I guarantee.
Yeah, but you know something. Yeah, well, I'll tell you in person. I've got. Yeah. I'll tell you later.
I know you're doing your homework, but yeah, I was just curious how it went. But I don't want to say talk to you or anything. But I don't know. You going to come Wednesday?
Yeah. I'm going to try to listen. I may not be there the whole time, but I'll call you tomorrow. Just tell me what the update is. I'd like to be there when you're there. I didn't stay for the whole thing, but I heard. You know, I left like right after lunch, but I heard what happened.
Did they show pictures of carcasses and stuff too?
Not when I was in the room, but they had, like when I was first in the room in the beginning, they had some slides up that I saw just really briefly of like the tractor, you know, out where they were like exhuming the cats, and they, you know, but I didn't see. They definitely had some pictures. I just didn't see them when I was up there. You know, like, you know, they grilled Eric about, you know, being drunk, about like, you know, Joke shooting 5 tigers to make room for, you know.
Yeah, was his testimony pretty good though?
His was like, I was kind of surprised because I saw him in the hallway because I know him.
Yeah.
And I talked to him before he testified. I just went out to use the bathroom, and he and Dylan West were sitting on a bench. I went over and said hi, and I could smell, you know, vodka on his breath.
Oh.
Definitely. But so considering that he, you know, drinks a lot and, you know, was definitely, you know, chugging down some vodka. It was okay. Dylan was bad. Dylan, like, just the guy's just a bit slow. I hate to say it. And so he was like, you know, he was just like short. Whereas Eric had, you know, he knew how to answer questions, and I think he was honest. You know, but and then Trey Keys was good. He was really Trey's
super smart too.
But he was really good, man, and he likes Joe a lot, which I think is good. You know, for me, you know, it's hard, man, because
was Trey pro Joe there?
Yeah, I think so. He basically, and you know who else was pro Joe was Vet Green, Dr. Green.
Really?
He was like super emotional, and really felt like bad for Joe. And but you know, the problem is the evidence is just going to bury him. Unfortunately, you know,
yeah,
it's just.
Tell that prosecutor, hey, take a plea and just, you know, at least you'll salvage, you know, some of your life, you know, but don't freaking let a jury, you know, because when they start playing tapes, it's a whole different ball game.
I know.
It's hard to take back your words, you know.
I know, man. I know. Let's see what happens.
Maybe. All right, man. I'll talk to you later. All right, bye.
All right, later. Bye.